This is the story of what happened to me in 1995. I was an alcoholic and a drug addict from 1979 to 1995. I never had a life. When I was about 16 years old, my life crashed. I have always felt a mystical attraction to Russian history, religion, and people. It developed into a serious obsession for many years with everything old Russian, along with a serious obsession with drugs and alcohol. I studied the Russian imperial family, the political system, and so on. But I was always drunk or high. I ruined myself spiritually, mentally, and physically. Year after year with no hope at all. Only this little pathetic drug alcoholic death. No education, no dignity, no faith. Nothing but pain for 16 years. I met some good people who suggested to me that I try to approach alcoholism as a spiritual disease. 3 months sober, I went to Russia on a pilgrimage to see Tsarskoye Selo and other important historical places. I went to the Divine Liturgy in the small palace church next to the Alexander Palace where the Tsar and Tsarina used to come and pray. I went to the iconostasis of the Holy Saint Nicholas the Miracle Worker and prayed. I prayed for Russia, our journey home, and for my mother and grandparents. In my heart, I prayed to the Tsar Martyr in the very church where he and his beloved family used to come and pray. My praying sort of snowballed and I spent 2 hours praying by this iconostasis. I cannot find the words, especially in another language than my own, to describe what happened to me. At that moment, I realized how bad my sin was and I asked God to help me get rid of the addiction that had destroyed my life. I felt relieved. I was filled with hope and joy. I had never felt these feelings before. The miracles didn't stop at that. The Tsar Martyr also helped me on our way back from Russia. The train was stopped by some extremely aggressive and annoying border guards. They searched everything and wanted us to empty all our bags. They accused us of trying to smuggle narcotics. The officer gave me a hard time until he started searching my shoulder bag, in which I had a small statue and an icon of the Tsar Martyr. When he put his hand in the back and started searching, he suddenly stopped and looked me in the eye. I could see he had his hand on the package with the Tsar Martyr's statue and icon. I prayed that he would stop because if he found the statue and icon, we would be in worse trouble. He didn't find it, he looked me in the eyes, stopped the search, and left the compartment, very strange, as he had emptied all my bags, except this one. When I came home to Denmark, I felt a great need to say, thank you, on a daily basis. There was no possibility of joining the Russian Orthodox Church at that time, for years have gone by since then. I have never felt the urge to drink again. Not once. I have not had one drop of alcohol or touched drugs since March 27, 1995. I was never religious in my beliefs or actions and was not brought up as a church-going person. The last thing I expected was a holy saint interceding on my behalf. But I was searching and I had an open heart at that moment, and I could hear God's voice, just this once in my life. The day in Tsarskoye changed everything. The reason why I have such great love for the Holy Royal Family of Russia should now be obvious. I prayed and waited for years, and so last I met an Orthodox father. He came right out of the blue and is an Orthodox priest, staying temporarily in my city. He is a very good priest and helps me very much by our talks and by sharing about Orthodox spirituality. God has restored me to sanity by the intercession of the Holy Tsar Martyr. I have even been given back my intellectual and human skills that I had lost completely. I can now manage to continue my education. Thanks to the Lord, to Tsar Martyr Nicholas II, and to all the saints. With their help, I regained my life. This story was told to Archbishop Melchizedek, who had then been the hierarch of Ekaterinburg for many years. At the time of the fall of the Soviet government in 1990, an old woman came to his office. Her name was Anna. Although she was not a believer, she felt that she was going to die soon and said that she had something she wanted to tell him. After the Tsar's and his family's death, the Ipatiev House was turned into a museum. This woman had been the night guard in the museum for several decades, and although the rest of the house was open during the day for visitors, the basement, the site of the family's murder, was always kept barred and locked. No one, including the guards, ever went down there. Anna told the Archbishop many times during her years of working there she would be startled at night to hear beautiful singing, and see the light streaming from the basement door. She said that the singing was as of many voices, and definitely church music. She would often creep up to the door to listen but was too frightened to go into the basement to look. She did not tell anyone, since she knew that if she reported such things she would be dismissed and possibly arrested. Archbishop Melchizedek asked Anna if she would sign an affidavit attesting to the truth of her story, but she refused, saying that she was too afraid of the KGB to sign anything that might get her in trouble. The following information comes from a book, Miracles of Royal Martyrs, published in St. Petersburg, Russia. Yelena was a childless woman for many years. She sought advice from different doctors, but they could hold out no hope. Her prayers were particularly often addressed to the Holy Royal Martyrs of Russia, not only because of her deep reverence for them, but also because she remembered the miraculous bestowal of the royal successor upon them after many years of holy matrimony. Once in her dream, she had a vision of the Tsar himself, in a blooming apple orchard, who, amid the blossoming trees, his face radiant, uttered the words of consolation, which she could not remember. However, when she woke up, his words were perfectly clear. He said she would give birth to children. Today, she already has 2 children. In 1925 there appeared in the Serbian press an account of what happened to an elderly Serbian lady who had lost 2 sons in the war and whose 3rd son, who had disappeared without a trace, she considered also to have been killed. Once, after fervently praying for all who had been killed in the war, the poor mother fell asleep and saw in a dream Tsar Nicholas II, who told her that her son was alive and was in Russia, where he had fought together with his 2 dead brothers. "You will not die until you see your son," said the Tsar. Soon after this dream, the old woman received news that her son was alive, and within a few months after this, she joyously embraced him alive and well when he returned from Russia. O Holy Tsar Martyr Nicholas and all the new martyrs of the Russian land, pray to God for us sinners.